Today on Community Cooking, we have guest chef Debby Bernstein making a chicken and vegetable stir fry served over a bed of jasmine rice. But that's not all. We're also making chocolate dipped strawberries for dessert. We're cooking with some of the best chefs from right here in our own community, so grab a seat and relax. We have another fantastic show for you. This is your Community Cooking. Hi, and welcome to Community Cooking. I'm your host, Maria Prekeges, and I am excited to have my friend and guest chef, Debby Bernstein, in the house.
Thanks, I'm excited to be here too.
Well, when you're here, it's always good, so we appreciate that. And today, lots of ingredients and some festive color vegetables. What are we making?
We are making a chicken stir fry with vegetables, and we're going to serve it on a bed of jasmine rice. And then every dish has to have a sweet, so we're going to make chocolate dipped strawberries too.
I can't wait for those. Yum! All right, let's go over the ingredients. There isn't a lot here. Thank you. You know we like it easy and simple. What do we have?
So the first ingredients, of course, chicken and vegetables, and you can choose whatever vegetables you like, so that's flexible. We have olive oil, we have an egg, cornstarch, of course, and chicken broth. Then for the sauce, we have rice wine vinegar, we have soy sauce, we have sesame oil, we have garlic chili paste, good, chicken broth.
We love that. I eat this by the jar all the time.
Chicken broth and some rice wine vinegar to spice it up a little.
Yum, I can't wait. All right, so we'll get started. Now you have the rice in the rice cooker going.
Right, so what we did was we started with some jasmine rice, so this is just, and rice cookers are the best thing ever invented because you put 2-to-1 ratio, so a cup of rice, 2 cups of water, throw it in the rice cooker, push the button. You don't have to figure out about how long it takes or anything. This particular rice cooker was a wedding gift, so I've had it for a lot of years. They work forever and ever and ever.
I love it. And rice cookers, you can do it on the stove, but for me, it always makes a mess.
Well, and the nice thing about a rice cooker is it not only makes perfect rice, but it keeps it warm.
Oh yeah, I didn't even think about that. But
you can start the rice, get it out of the way, make your dish, and know that you've got the warm rice ready when you're ready for it.
And it's ready. I'm always trying to time the rice, and has it been, 20 minutes, whatever it calls for. And the jasmine rice is great because that's what goes with a lot of Asian cooking.
Right. It just has a little aroma that makes it kind of make the dish pop a little more than just plain white.
And I think it's mainly for sushi. Sometimes they put vinegar in the rice for sushi, but this is just the plain rice and water.
Correct. Okay. Correct, because we're going to have a sauce on the chicken that will go on top of the rice.
Okay, so we have our chicken, boneless breasts.
Yes. Yes.
I love that.
And of course you could make it, if you like dark meat, you can make it with boneless thighs as well. My family will only eat white meat chicken, so all of my dishes are boneless breast of chicken.
I like the white meat as well, so I'm with your family. I fit right in.
So you want to, with the chicken, you just want to crack in 1 egg. Don't have to mix it first, just throw it in there because we're going to mix it up anyway.
Okay, I don't think I've never done an egg in my stir fry.
And what's really nice when you put the egg and we put a tablespoon of cornstarch.
Okay.
Maybe.
So we have our mini spatula. Yeah, and you put it all in first, see?
Yeah, and then if I wasn't on TV, I would just do it with my hands, but
we do things with our hands here too, but that's all right.
That'll be nice. So you're just mixing it up to completely coat the chicken, and what this does is it puts not really a breading, but just kind of a coating that keeps the chicken really moist. Because sometimes in a stir fry, the chicken gets kind of dry and petrified. Yeah. This keeps it so it's really moist and really tender.
It's kind of like an egg wash thing, but you do it all at once, so it's easier. It's one bowl. We like one bowl. We don't like to clean a lot.
We're all about easy.
All about easy. And then we have our big, great pan.
Yes.
So just mix it up.
Yeah.
And you cut your chicken up, your breasts up into about...
And bite-sized pieces.
Yeah. I love that. There's nothing worse than eating with chopsticks and you have this huge piece and you're like, bite-sized people, bite-size.
Yeah, and I always trim it up a little bit. No one wants the pieces of skin that are left over.
No, that's for fried chicken only.
Yes. So this is all done. So we're going to put a little bit of olive oil into the pan. Okay. Everything I cook is with olive oil, sorry.
I'm Greek. I always say we have it in our bottle. We're used to olive oil. And you want it to get fairly hot?
A little warm. You don't want it to burn the chicken when you throw it in, but you don't want it to take forever to cook either.
Okay.
So when we put it in the pan now, we're just kind of cooking it partially, because then we're going to add the vegetables. It's still going to have a lot of cooking to do. So
Okay.
it doesn't have to be all the way cooked, but you want to make sure it's completely white on the outside, that there's no pink left.
Well, and we're going to use just one pan and throw it all in. Some people
Correct.
go cook the chicken, take it out, put the veggies in, and I'm like, that's kind of a waste.
No, we're going to do one pan because the chicken leaves such a great flavor that when you
Yeah.
take it out, you waste that flavor.
Well, and I find the chicken gets dry when you take it out and let it sit.
That didn't sound very hot, did it?
That's all right. We'll turn up the heat.
We will.
So what inspires you? How do you come up with recipes?
Usually I just get in the kitchen and just start throwing things into a bowl and see how they taste together. And that's the hardest part about having to actually have a recipe, is I don't write down as I'm doing, and then my family say, this is really good, make it again. And I'm like, I don't know if I can.
Isn't that, well, a funny story, my grandparents were straight from Greece, and my grandmother just knew, because they didn't have measuring cups back then in Greece. So she would just throw things in, and one day mom was cooking, or my grandma was cooking, my mom said, stop after every ingredient. So you need someone to do that with you in the kitchen.
And
Although
write
I
it
know
down.
that's your alone time that you love, but she had to stop my grandmother. She'd, grab a handful of flour. She's like, stop, I have to measure it. And so that's how the recipes were passed down and actually measured out. But I can see that you just throw stuff in, you're like, well, I probably can't make it.
So I need you in my kitchen to write
Yes,
everything down for me.
I'm a good sous chef. Polite, fun conversation. What the heck? We'd have a ball. It's warming up a little.
It is.
It is.
It's
That's
starting
all right.
to. It will cook.
And it doesn't, like you said, you just want it to get white a little bit because we're still going to cook things.
Right.
So while the chicken's cooking, should I get started on the sauce?
Absolutely. That'd be a great
Saucy
idea.
I have a whisk. I love whisking. So all of these ingredients that we talked about, there's chicken broth. And I love, because you measured them all out already, but a lot of times
did.
I just whisk everything in here and measure it as I go.
Right. And my little secret when I'm cooking a recipe is that I always measure everything out in advance. I always have everything ready to go like this, because it's a lot more fun to cook when you're not rummaging through the cabinet trying to find the ingredient that you need.
It's so true. Soy sauce, a little bit of soy. I use chicken broth, by the way, on everything. Rice wine vinegar. Ooh, yes. I guess I could have tasted that. And we could, I like to do sesame oil. I couldn't
best.
remember. You just told me. Sesame oil is good, especially for stir fry. And then you could use like 4 times, 5 times as much.
Well, here, use a little scraper. Make sure.
There we go. Make sure I get, thank you, every little bit out. I love the chili paste. And then the cornstarch you just add at the end?
Yeah, and then you're going to whisk it all till it's smooth.
All right, and I hear the chicken sizzling.
It is starting to cook now.
Hello? Are you home? I'm coming in for dinner, Debbie. Look, I have cornstarch everywhere.
Scrape the rest of that out because we want all of it or it won't get thick.
All right, she measured it out for me. We're going to use it all. I love these little small spatulas. They're so great for so many things.
They're great for getting that last bit of mayonnaise out of the jar.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. So I left some on the counter, but I'll whisk it till all the lumps are gone. Cornstarch is great. It thickens up, but if you don't get the lumps out,
Then it makes thick bread balls in
Yes.
your food.
oh, and I can see with the egg and everything, it's making, like you said, not a big crust, but I love cornstarch a little bit in all my stir fry just because it thickens it up and makes it like the restaurants, but much more healthy, by the way, when you do this at home. So out of all your trials, do you have a favorite recipe that came out of all of them?
Probably this one, actually.
Oh, really? Oh,
Yeah.
I'm so glad you're sharing it. I love
Yeah, this is the recipe that my kids' friends will say, I'm coming over for dinner, will you make your stir fry?
That's awesome. Well, and it's so much about the sauce. It smells so good with everything in it.
And it's really easy. I can come home from work and make this.
Well, and that's what we love to promote. They're healthy dishes, easy dishes. Farmer's Market, you got all the veggies from. And I have to thank Debbie. She remembered I don't like green peppers.
I did. No green peppers in our dish. So
Yeah.
we're going to have carrots and broccoli and red peppers and cauliflower.
Thank you. I like to mix it up too. Vegetables, here you can get year-round at the Farmer's Market, which is great. But,
You know what we're missing is our salt and pepper.
oh, we can get some salt and pepper. We will add that.
We can add it at the end, it's okay. We can add it to the sauce.
Oh, I'm sorry, I just keep whisking because I'm smelling it.
So it's all kind of white on all the sides. Again, we don't have to worry about it being cooked all the way through because we're still going to be doing more cooking.
Yeah.
So then you want to add all your vegetables.
Okay.
You just kind of mix them in a little.
I'm just whisking away, enjoying the aroma.
And we're going to add the chicken
broth.
Chicken broth. And if you have a lot of time on your hands, you can always make it from scratch. But the can works just as well.
You know, they have organic chicken broth now. So many things. Oh.
So all we have to do now is let this simmer for a little bit.
So we just cover it, and then when do we add the sauce?
We add the sauce at the very last minute.
Oh,
so
okay.
there's not a great science to when it's done. It's how you like your vegetables.
Oh.
So if you like your vegetables, my family likes their vegetables almost like mush. So
I like them a little like you do, not
Yeah.
quite so mushy.
yeah,
but,
I
oh,
like them to
that's
still
funny.
hold form and kind of have a little bite to them. My family would like them to almost be like mashed potatoes.
Oh, that's
So,
funny. Well,
so you can cook it to whatever you feel you want it to be.
Every person, you are always accommodating everyone, which I love, because you're like, my family likes it this way, you like it this way. I mean, do you enjoy being in the kitchen that much?
I do. I love the kitchen. I love the kitchen. And it's funny because now with my iPad, I sit in the kitchen and I watch cooking shows on my counter while I'm cooking in the kitchen. And it's my place. And no one comes in the kitchen. Everyone knows that's my place.
Oh, that is awesome. But they appreciate all your cooking because I'm
do.
sure they love most of your food.
They do. They're my best tasters. So
I know. I was going to say, I'm sure I ask everyone this because everyone tries out their dishes and they're super creative and they bring them in here and we're so thankful for that. But sometimes dishes don't quite, go the way you want.
that happens.
And you need your taste testers,
That
like
happens.
your family.
That happens. And my family's brutally honest.
I take most of these recipes when I'm traveling to my sister and brother's house who live away. And usually I get them pretty right because people like you bring them in and they've taste tested them. They've tested them in the kitchen. You know what you're doing. But there have been a few times that my niece and nephew are like, yeah, this is not a do-over.
Yeah.
We can't do this recipe again. We're over it.
We get that.
Okay.
We get that. We laugh because my husband, whatever he eats, if he likes it, he'll say, not bad. So if you can get this is really good for my husband, then you know, wow, this was something that I should make over and over again.
Note to self.
But everything is not bad.
Not bad. Ow, tell me, has to get a little more. You should do it in, a 10, a 5, and a 2.
Right.
Nothing's ever a 1 or a 0.
No.
It can't be. Unless if it's edible and hasn't burned to a crisp, it's, 10, 5, and 2,
Right.
tell them. Kind of like when you used to learn how to drive. The 10 and 2.
Yeah. So you can see everything's kind of starting to cook up.
And the colors are so great.
And I always pick my vegetables for the colors.
Veggies, I mean, they add so much nutrition, fiber, vitamins, and then chicken, all very, very healthy.
We're going to give it a little bit more because it's still, it's the way I like it. But
I think you should make it how you like it because that's usually how I like it. So that's easy enough. I love it. So we just let that simmer. And so 2 kids, twins.
Twins.
I mean, I'm assuming they love your food, but you said your family's picky. They like it certain ways.
Right.
Are they into cooking as well?
They both are.
They both are?
They both love cooking. And they love, now that they have their own kitchens, they love to play in their kitchens and create things. And they send each other what they've made. And some of the things that they make, I look and I go, wow, I would have never thought to do that. But it's
So now they're giving you ideas.
But it's fun to see that when I thought they weren't really paying attention to what I was doing, they were.
Oh, see? They were listening to Mom.
Yeah.
We like that. We like that. All right, I'm going to give this one more whisk.
Okay, and I think we're going to be just about ready to throw it in.
Perfect.
Dinner time was a big deal at the Bernstein house. There was the one meal that the 4 of us sat down to.
See, which is so important. And
Yeah.
no cell phones, no nothing, just
As
dinner.
we got older, sometimes it was sitting down in front of the TV, but it was still always sitting
You were
down
still
together.
together. And you get something out of it. I'm going to hand you the sauce
Perfect.
to add that. I tell you, that sauce is amazing. It smells amazing.
And then we'll add some salt and pepper at the break.
Okay, perfect. Look at that. Oh. And the sauce has cornstarch in it, so that will help thicken everything
So
up
plus
as well.
we already had some cornstarch in here. So it's all going to start thickening up a little.
Oh my gosh, that smells so good.
You can see how it's starting to get a little thicker.
Yeah. Which I love, because whenever you're out at an Asian restaurant and you're like, wait a minute, what, how do I get this sauce all thick? And for me, cornstarch, sometimes I like how you whisked it in. We whisked it in first. And look what I have, a little salt and pepper.
Awesome.
Alati and pipette, they're your 2 Greek words for the day.
Alati and
Alati, that's salt. And just a little bit then, yeah, because the soy and all.
You can never have too much salt.
I know, I'm so with you on that, don't tell.
It's sea salt, it's good for you, remember?
That's right, you do like sea salt. Every chef has their preference. I think most for cooking like sea salt for like you do, which is great.
So we've
it's
got it, it's
thickening,
all
huh?
coated and looking nice. And then it will do its final thickening when it cools down a little.
Oh,
It
okay.
will never get to full thickness while it's really hot.
Okay, because sometimes I used to always go, why isn't it thick? But you're right, it needs to cool a
Because if
little.
you notice, sometimes when you go to a Chinese restaurant, the food, when you take it home, the sauce is so much thicker than it was.
Yeah, most definitely. Well, and cooking stir fry at home we love going out to the restaurants, but it's much more healthy.
Well, yeah,
because you know what you're putting in.
It's fried. When you
Yeah.
when you eat it in an Asian restaurant, they deep fry it
Yeah.
in oil. It's not. So we're done.
We're done. So easy, so simple, so aromatic. I love it. All right, well, we're going to take a quick break and clean up. And when we come back, we're going to make some chocolate dipped strawberries. I think I saw some sprinkles maybe. So don't go anywhere. We'll be back in 60 seconds.
Daisy is 6 years old, and she is my very best friend. I couldn't live alone without her. I spend a lot of time in my backyard. I feed the birds and the bees. I love my flowers. The color in my garden keeps the pink in my cheeks. I was very independent and thought I could take care of myself. I fell and I had to have Meals on Wheels. I love them. They're my savior. And I look forward to the volunteers because they've all become my friends. My name is Lola Silvestri. America, let's do lunch.
1 in 6 seniors faces the threat of hunger, and millions more live in isolation. Drop off a hot meal and say a quick hello. Volunteer by donating your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org.
Welcome back to Community Cooking. If you're just joining us, we already made a delicious stir fry. The scent is overwhelming. It is so good and healthy. And now we're still going healthy. We have fruit.
Right?
But let's talk chocolate dipped strawberries.
Yes. Fruit with a twist.
I love it. And she did bring me some sprinkles. Ingredients, super simple.
Super simple. Chocolate wafers. Get them at craft store. Get them at the market.
So
really easy to find.
I've never seen chocolate wafers. What makes these different than chocolate
They'll either
chips?
be called chocolate wafers or melting chocolates, and they have oil in them. So when they melt really smooth, and when they dry on the strawberry, they're not. When you melt a chocolate chip, it gets hard again when it gets cooled down.
Oh, like super hard.
Right.
Okay.
This stays it gets a hard shell, but stays a little creamier.
Well, because some chocolate covered strawberries, you're right, you bite in and it explodes.
Yeah,
All
right.
the
And this keeps it from doing that.
Oh.
Also, if you have trouble finding melting wafers, the other thing that you can buy is fountain chocolate.
Okay.
So they sell chocolate especially for the chocolate fountains, and you can use that to melt for strawberries too.
I didn't know that. And you can taste they're not quite like a chocolate chip, but they're pretty good as is still. So I'm
Yeah.
excited to taste them on the strawberries. And of course, you brought toppings that you can sprinkle on. You can have them plain, or I love peanuts. I love my sprinkles, and then mini chocolate chips.
Right, right. And you can get as creative as you want. I mean, you can put anything on them. You can melt some white chocolate and drizzle it over the milk chocolate to add a little design. You can dip it in caramel before you dip it in chocolate if you
Ooh.
want to have a double layered thing. And you don't have to stick with just strawberries either. What we usually do at my house is we dip all the strawberries, then whatever chocolate's left is just a hodgepodge of whatever people can find in the cupboard that they can dip in it.
Well, I love chocolate covered bananas, so
Yeah.
bananas would be great.
Bananas or marshmallows are really good.
Ooh, yum.
The one that's really good is pretzels. Pretzels taste really good in the chocolate.
That's some of my
But we've done
favorite.
we've done apples.
I
Whatever.
can see you in your fridge and your
we
pantry.
Are.
It's
We
like,
are
what do
pulling
we
things
have?
out, and
I forgot about pretzels because I'm always so fruit oriented when you do it, but I love chocolate chip pretzels, so
Right.
homemade.
right. And if you want to really have a treat, buy the thin pretzels. You know, the
Oh,
pretzel
yeah.
crisps. and dip those because you get a little more chocolate to pretzel ratio. They're really good.
Oh, yum. And other toppings, I love salted anything, like salted caramel. You said caramel, so it made me
Well,
think.
and you can even break up pretzels.
Yeah.
If you want to put pretzels on it, you can break that up. You can do dark chocolate with milk chocolate. You can also add to the chocolate. You can never add liquid to the chocolate,
Okay.
though. So you want to be really careful because if you add anything that's water-based, it will clump your chocolate.
Oh, okay.
So you don't want to do that. But if you go to a candy store or baking store, you can buy flavored oils that go into the chocolate.
okay.
So you can make it liqueur flavored, you know, if you want to make more of an adult drink. Or adult treat, I'm
Yeah.
sorry. I went to a wedding once that they actually injected the strawberries with liqueur and then dipped them in chocolate.
Now you're talking,
So,
we're adults
yeah.
here. We're talking my language. I love it. I've never heard of that. How yummy.
Yeah, so there's so many different things you can do, and we're going to make them today. They're so easy.
Well, and fun for the whole
Yes.
family. And you already put in a double boiler, very
Yes,
important.
Yes.
It-
Chocolate.
It's chocolate.
Water in the bottom, chocolate on the top.
And I know, I remember when I was really little, my mom would do baker's chocolate or, you know, semi-sweet or chocolate chips. And I'm like, why do you need 2 pans? But you do when it comes to chocolate.
Right. The problem is if the chocolate is directly on the heat source, it will scald or burn on the bottom.
Okay.
So by putting it in a double boiler, the water is heating the chocolate instead of the heat source, and it's more of an even heat.
Okay. And look at how it melted down
it
so
makes,
nicely.
It makes perfect dipping chocolate, and there's really no science. It doesn't need to be a certain temperature. If you get it too hot, you might want to let it cool down a little, or it'll cook the fruit that you're dipping.
Oh,
So,
what the heck?
yeah. So,
Little cooked pineapple.
Right. It's great with the marshmallows, though, because it melts them a little while it's dipping. So,
Yeah. I haven't even
so-
thought of marshmallows. But I love strawberries are one of my favorite fruits. So,
so are you ready to give it a try?
yes. We will bring it right over in between us so we can both dip. I'm going to put the toppings near us.
And so what you want to do is you want to dip it first, set it on wax paper. And wax paper is really important. If you put it on a plate, what's going to happen is whatever touches the plate is going to stick to the plate.
Okay.
So when you go to pick the strawberry up, you're going to have a strawberry with chocolate on the top half and a big chunk of chocolate on your plate.
Which is fine
So-
for a mistake to try, but
Right.
let's stick with the wax
Right.
paper.
So if you do wax paper, it won't stick. You can also probably, if you don't have wax paper, you can spray a cooking spray on the surface first before you set
okay,
it
that
down.
makes
Just something to
sense.
make it not stick.
Not stick.
But you want to do something that's transferable because after you dip, after you sprinkle, then you're going to put it in the fridge so that it sets really well.
Okay.
And so you don't want to be like balancing a piece of paper trying to get to the fridge with
Yeah,
it.
we have them on our cutting boards,
Yes.
which is good. And then do I want to sprinkle right away?
No, you want to let the chocolate dry just a little bit because if you sprinkle right away, the weight of the sprinkles will push the chocolate right off the strawberry.
Okay,
So
didn't
you want to
think
let
of
it set a little first.
All right, so we're just dipping.
Ready?
I'm going to look at my sprinkles
You ready? So
and covet them for later.
you always want to leave the green on top.
Have
My
something to
niece
grab on.
calls these trees. These are strawberry trees.
Leave the trees on
So
top
leave
of the
the tree
strawberries.
on.
Okay.
And then just dip in the chocolate. And I like to try and get the chocolate as high up the strawberry as possible because no one wants the part without the chocolate.
This is true. I'm going to, oh, it's taking all my willpower not to just
And then just
dig
let
in.
it drip a little off and then set it on your...
Oop. There, I
really
didn't
simple.
drip. I didn't drip anywhere. And you can get strawberries like this at the farmer's market.
I got these at the farmer's market.
It's
And the
so
nice
good.
thing is at farmer's market, if you go to the booth and tell them what you're using them for, the guy put together 3 baskets for me of the larger size strawberries.
Oh, that's
So
great.
you can't do that at the market. You can do that at farmer's
Yeah,
market.
you can't, I can't pick
Yeah.
through all the
No.
stuff. I'm just picking through for the best ones for dipping. Oh, this chocolate smells so good, and it's so creamy. And who doesn't love chocolate?
So chocolate dip fingers work as well.
I know. Oh, look. Oh, I'm sorry. I got some on my finger. Oh. Oh. That's even better melted. Mm-mm. These are perfect. I'm dripping everywhere. It's quality control.
Doesn't matter.
Well, and it's fun to do, and you can do these ahead of time for parties or dessert.
Right.
I mean,
you don't want to do them too far ahead of time.
Okay.
You always want to do them the same day because
Okay.
if you put them in the fridge overnight, the strawberry shrinks. And so
No
then you have
way.
kind of a chocolate shell with a strawberry kind of swimming in it. It doesn't look as pretty. It still tastes good.
yeah, I was going to say it still tastes good,
It
but
just doesn't look as pretty.
okay. So the same day, but you can do them before all your guests arrive.
Absolutely.
So as I'm making a mess, you can make a mess first.
Absolutely. Or we've at family dinners have melted a pot of chocolate, put all the different fruits out, and everyone dipped their own.
Oh, I was going to say it'd be fun to do. as a group or for the kids?
Oh, it was adults. There were no kids.
You're like, no, it was just
There were no
adults.
kids.
Well, it's kind of almost like a fondue, and there's chocolate fondue, but then it hardens up and you get to put, like we said, your sprinkles and everything on it.
Right. So they're almost to the point now that you can put some of the topping on it.
Okay. I'm going to do one more dip and then get to my sprinkle. I'll do a little bit of everything. I won't go sprinkle heavy. But why, all my young nieces and nephews like sprinkles, so what the heck? And oh, I see. Yeah, it's staying on.
And you don't have to do one thing. So, for instance, if you like some nuts and some chocolate chips, you can do that.
Oh, yeah. Now you're talking my language. I'm going to do some nuts. I'm doing one of each. Well, two of each, actually. Okay. Well, we're going to finish up our sprinkles on our chocolate dipped strawberries, clean everything up, and come back and taste our two wonderful dishes. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back in 60 seconds. You're watching Community Cooking.
What?
The storks are bringing me a baby brother.
Storks know how to keep kids safe. Do you?
What?
Oh my gosh, you don't know.
I know.
You don't. Oh man, you laugh when you're uncomfortable.
No.
Making sure your child is in the right seat is one of the steps to safer travel.
We can do this together.
To know for sure that your child is in the right seat for their age and size,
Remember when I was a baby? It felt like 1 minute ago.
What?
visit safercar.gov/the-right-seat.
What he said.
Welcome back to Community Cooking. All right, Miss Debbie, I'm digging in. I'm not wasting any
Good.
time. You can share off
try
my
right with
plate,
you.
but I'm going. I'm going for it. Little rice, little chicken. That is good. It tastes just like the restaurants, but more healthy and not so, and the flavors, you can taste the sesame oil.
Yes. And it's got the kick from the chili garlic.
I
paste
know.
that you
I was like, I'm
wanted.
feeling the kick. Oh, wait, let's cool off. With the chocolate dipped strawberry, I'm taking sprinkles, of course.
Okay, then I'm going to do,
You're going to do chocolate chips?
I'll do chocolate chips.
All right. I'm going to make sure it doesn't break apart. Oh,
It won't break apart.
that chocolate. Let me get the extra sprinkle. It's soft, but it's still firm enough. Oh, my gosh. Okay. The melting wafers. Make sure you do that. That's so good. Mm-hmm. Oh, thank you so much. You're invited back anytime. Yum, yum, and yum. Love having you here on behalf of Debbie, myself, and the entire crew. Thank you for joining us on another fun episode. And remember, we really do have some of the best chefs right here in our own community. We will see you next time on Community Cooking.
If you'd like a copy of the recipes seen on this show, send us a self-addressed stamped envelope to the Office of Cable and Community Relations. That's 3350 Civic Center Drive, Suite 200 in Torrance, California, 90503. Be sure to note the show number displayed on the screen. And don't forget, you can find all the fresh ingredients used on today's show at the Farmers Market. Visit the one here in Torrance at Wilson Park. That's located at 2200 Crenshaw Boulevard. They're open every Tuesday and Saturday from 8 a.m. until 1 p.m., rain or shine. And if you'd like to be a guest on our show, email us at communitycooking@torranceca.gov and check us out online at youtube.com/TorranceCityCable and like us on Facebook at Community Cooking TV.